is still a cracker always. Unfortunately for Spurs, Arsenal have won, majority of it in the last in the last 10 years or so. I think when I checked the stats, Arsenal have actually won it 4 times in a row in the last 2 years or so. So it doesn't look good for Spurs, and certainly in their current situation, it's not good at all because, as you may as you may know, there are what 10 to 11 first team players out ahead of this game for Tottenham Hotspur. And Arsenal, they have a full squad. They have a deep squad. They have a strong squad, and they are angry, right? Um, because of the Wolves game, they dropped valuable 2 points at the Wolves game. This is a Wolves team that is stuck on the bottom of the league table with only 9 points. Arsenal went there and dashed them one more point for the season. And nobody saw that coming, right? After that Brentford game, everybody was expecting Arsenal to go smash them, and make sure that they are in a very comfortable lead ahead of this particular game against Spurs, and make sure that they don't come into the Spurs game with any jitters. They don't come into the Spurs game with any pressure on them, because even if they lose this game, at least they would have, been they would have a good cushion from that 3 point that they would have taken from Wolverhampton Wanderers. But they were shocked. I don't know if it was complacency, but on that day, Arsenal really played poor. Now, this could work in two ways. Arsenal could come to Spurs with that fire in their belly, for everybody doubting them, everybody, mocking them, everybody already saying that they've bottled it again and again, and everybody singing the second again, ole, ole. They could come to Spurs with all that anger and smash Spurs, right? They could do that. On the flip side, this could also happen that there'll be too much pressure on them, and when they come to Spurs, they will not be able to freely play their game. They will not be able to freely, move the ball around. They'll be giving the ball away because they feel the pressure. The pressure now on Arsenal is so palpable, right? So then this could then be an advantage for Spurs, who all of a sudden could be feeling, oh, this is a new manager bounce, because they have a new manager, right? A new manager that is bringing fresh ideas, a new manager that is believing in them to go forward and play the football, a new manager that is giving them, all the impetus to go and express themselves on the field, a new manager that is bringing unity back into the dressing room after all the toxicity during Frank's period. So this really, really, could be potentially tricky for Arsenal. Last night I saw all the Tottenham Hotspur players with the new coach at a restaurant, right, having dinner, laughing, trying to calm nerves, trying to bring that unity back into the team. And a team that is unified is really, really difficult to break down. And I think in this game, in this particular encounter going against Arsenal, it's not really about the form that Spurs are in, because otherwise this is a done deal. This is a done game already, because we'll not be able to compete, right? But it's about bringing belief within the team, bringing some level of belief, and saying that, look, this team is good enough. We have good enough players. We should be able to take on any team, right? But that belief has been gone for a very long time under Frank. So I think what this coach is doing is just trying to bring trust, teamwork into the squad that we have, and give them some strength to say we go into this game, because Arsenal psychologically are not in a good place. Even Wolves took points away from them. You're better than Wolves, right? We have better players than Wolves. We have a better squad than Wolves, albeit a dilapidated squad because of injuries. But we can test them. We have seen that Brentford tested them, Wolves tested them, um, Liverpool tested them, and Arsenal. Even though at the beginning of the season they were more or less brushing off all those tests, now they seem to be struggling with anybody bringing up that test. So there's nothing really to lose for Spurs. They really need to go into this game hoping to get something from it. The other thing is that this is being played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, right? Which means that the fans will be there to cheer them on. There's a new feeling around the stadium. There's a new feeling around the team because of the new coach, right? It's not as toxic anymore. The fans are not coming there, coming to boo the players, right? We haven't won in that stadium for how many games? Like we've not won in two. I think we've just won one in 12 games. This whole year, 2026, we haven't won any game at the stadium. So the fans come there and the players are looking over their shoulders, worried that they will make mistakes and the fans will boo at them, right? But this is not the case now. That's why they need to harness that positivity. They need to harness that positive energy, positive vibe that will be in the stadium tomorrow against Arsenal, right? Let them don't let Arsenal feel comfortable at the stadium. We need to go at them. This is all we have. We don't really have any choice, right? Mind you, we can't afford to lose this game against Arsenal because the subsequent games are not easy games, right? Um, which means that we can't go into this game saying that even if we draw, it's okay, because we are in a Spurs are in a precarious situation right now. They need to go into this game with a mentality of winning. They shouldn't go there already being defeated, right? And you can smell blood within the Arsenal team that the Arsenal team doesn't feel as confident. So for Spurs, this is the best time to play them. And on the other hand, for Arsenal, this is also the best time to play Spurs because of what happened. They could then potentially say, let's go and smash Spurs and announce to the whole world that we haven't given up on this league and that we are still title contenders and that we can still win this Premier League. the the stakes are very high for Arsenal, right? If they lose this game and Man City wins tonight against Newcastle, Man City will be only 2 points behind Arsenal. Man City will have a game in hand against, I think, um, Palace. And Arsenal, mind you, have a game at the Emirates. Not the Emirates, at the Etihad. They have to go and play Man City at Man City's home. So this could be a huge decider for the title. If Man City wins tonight and Arsenal feel the pressure, come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and lose, this could spell doom for their title race because Man City are already smelling blood. They know because it's happened to Arsenal several times. So immediately this feels like Arsenal are bottling it. On that side of the pendulum, Man City are gaining momentum. They're gaining courage. They are seeing positivity. And on the other side of the pendulum, Arsenal will be going down, right? Energy will be going down, toxicity. Even their own fans would turn against them that they're doing this again. And someone told me if Arsenal does not win this title this year, it's on Mikel Arteta. Because where is the excuse now? Um, Last year, oh, you didn't win it because you didn't have a striker. You brought Victor Gyökeres, who was scoring for fun that season, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't ticked for him since he came, right? You blamed injuries, or you have blamed injuries in the last 2 seasons for costing you, the Premier League. Well, this season you have depth. You have brought in quality, quality for quality at each position in the team. Each position in this Arsenal team has two solid performers. So there's no argument for injuries because every time you have injuries, we haven't even felt it because the depth of the squad is so thick. It's wild. You have quality players in at each position. So that also won't wash. So the injury excuse won't wash. Um, i- in terms of squad depth, it won't wash because you have it now. You have a striker in Jokeres who everybody knows can score, but hasn't done it at Arsenal. So at this point, the other point is that the whole of this season you have been the best team. Indeed, you've been the best team in Europe the whole of this season. So if you do not win it, it's not because of quality. You have the quality. It's not because of depth of squad. You have the depth of squad. It's not because of injuries. You have depth to cover the injuries. It's not because you're not winning games. You've been winning games. You have won more games than any other team in England this season. So what's the excuse? What's the excuse? Indeed, Ateta could have picked up some very good points on the road, but for his sometimes too cautious approach to games, which has caused the team. And now, when you were 9 points, comfortable 9 points before Man City played Liverpool, potentially this evening, that 9 points could have reduced to or would reduce to 2 points. So that is very, very, very tricky. Well, this is for the North London Derby, and I'm not sure how things will turn out, going forward. Right. So apart from the North London Derby, there's also Man City tonight versus Newcastle. It's a very difficult game. If Man City are able to beat Newcastle, then game on. Then full game on, because Arsenal will be feeling the heat. They're coming to Spurs knowing that Man City is breathing down their necks. And in the last 4 occasions or 5 occasions this season, anytime Man City won or Man City played before Arsenal dropped points. um, what is also not good in terms of news for Arsenal is that Newcastle haven't been great on the road. They've not been great in their away games. As a matter of fact, I think last 2 weekends when they beat Spurs was only their second away victory or third away victory the whole of this season. So they've been very, very bad away. And they are going to play Man City, who are on fire right now. Um, I'm not sure they've lost any Premier League game this season at home, Man City. And even that game that Newcastle beat Spurs, which is their last away victory, and that game was drab. Really, it wasn't the most exciting game. So I'm fancying Man City to win. Right, they don't have the pressure in this game. Looking, behind them, saying Arsenal have just won and therefore they need to win. They are going to this game. They'll be very comfortable. They don't have any major injury crisis. Newcastle, I believe, still have, even though they have, I think, Tonali returning and Bruno Guimaraes also, I think, is also returning. So they have some of their players coming back, but they haven't performed very well away. In any case, there's a caveat. There's the English Premier League. Things could potentially derail at a very, very fast pace. So Man City shouldn't go into this game believing that they've already won. They need to get the job done. Get this job done and get the title race back on. Let Arsenal feel the pressure. Oh man, it would be so beautiful for us or the Spurs to just turn the dagger tomorrow to beat Arsenal. We haven't beaten them. How many? I haven't beaten them in such a long while. Um, I think in the last how many North London derbies have we played? I think we've played seven. Arsenal have won 6 out of the 7, and there's been just one draw. And that one draw in the recent games was when Ange Postecoglou. That was Ange's first season, I believe, when we went there, and it was 2-2. Yeah, we should have won that game, but it was 2-2 in that game. That was the only draw In the last six encounters in the Premier League, Arsenal have won six of them with just one draw. And the last four encounters, Arsenal have beaten you know, Spurs four in a row. Right. So Spurs must say this is enough. We need to win this game. And this is a perfect time. The only thing is, to be honest, if at the last, if we are needing players to turn games around the last, well, in the dying embers of the game, Arsenal rather have the men on the bench to come do it. Because imagine if Spurs are winning by 1 goal to 0 and we're in the 75th minute or the 80th minute, Arsenal start bringing on Martinelli, start bringing on Kai Havertz, start bringing on Madueke. All these guys. Within 15 minutes, something can happen. But if Arsenal are ahead 1-0 and Spurs need to turn things around, who are they bringing? Kids on the bench, under 21 players, and I don't think that will be able to beat Arsenal. So Spurs must ensure that in the first half they get a goal, you know, and try and force something maybe in the second half, because this would be very difficult for Spurs to get anything from this game if they allow Arsenal, to take the lead. It will be very difficult. So Spurs must save themselves from a huge mountain to climb, by avoiding an Arsenal early goal, or by avoiding an Arsenal, or preventing Arsenal to take the lead. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. So this is going to be a difficult game. What will be my prediction? I think on paper, Arsenal win by 2 goals to 1. But if I'm backing my team, I think the best you can get out of this game would be a draw. Right. So my head says 2-1 for Arsenal. My heart says 2-2. So let's see how it goes. But just a reminder that I'll be doing a live watch along for that game between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal tomorrow. And actually tonight, I may also do a live between the Man City versus Newcastle game. So watch out for that game as well. Let's see how things go. Thanks for joining the live. Thanks for watching. This is the Ghana Hotspur channel. My name is Nana Bwachi Adam. Share the link, share with your friends, subscribe, ensure that they also subscribe, and let's enjoy football together. Thank you.